Okay, so we probably have something in our Slido, but I would start with one question from my side.
Okay.
Usually the client do want some guarantees that there's money spending with you because they're paying for your work is worthy and the outcome is there. And all of what you said is very time consuming, very labor intensive and so on. And the result might appear, but you know, all these filters, robots and there. So how do you handle this situation?
It's hard. And I think what we try and say to our clients is that this stuff takes time. And what we're able to do is we don't ignore the short-term stuff. So if we can find problems on their website that can be fixed really quickly, we'll do that. We won't just think about the long term. So with all of our clients, we try and find the quick wins, the things that we can fix very quickly. And what that helps us to do is for them to build trust in us. So therefore, when we want to pitch long-term tactics that may be a bit more risky, they trust us a little bit more. So we try and balance the longer term against the short to medium term. And that seems to work quite well. And also, we can show the work for previous clients. So we can show them, here's what we did for other clients. This worked really well. And we can show them that we're good at this stuff. And it's taken a long time to do that.
Great, okay. Okay, so let's go to Slido. So during your SEO experiments, have you been hit by just algorithmic updates like Panda and Penguin, or have you also received manual penalties? And if so, have you been able to recover?
Yes to all of those. So algorithmic penalties, we have had clients come to us after being hit by Panda. The one that I showed earlier, that was Panda. We've also had clients that have been hit with Penguin. We've helped several people recover from Panda. It's not easy. It often takes a lot of investment from the clients. They have to invest in content, and they have to invest in a long-term approach. And with Penguin, that can be really hard to get out of. But we have done it in the past. Usually it takes a lot of hard work. Usually we have to take a few months to clean up backlinks. With manual penalties, again, yes, we've had those come through to some of our clients, and most of the time they're related to links. So we've often done link cleaning up, and oftentimes it will take 4 or 5 different reconsideration requests for it to be accepted by Google. So it doesn't happen straight away, but we have had experience with those.
Okay, great. Let's go further. How to post the same content across the different channels so Google doesn't penalize me? Right.
So with different channels, so what we mean by different channels, so if you've got your website here in the middle, all the different channels surround that website. So we've got social channels such as Facebook, Twitter, and then we've got things like email marketing. We've got other websites. So as long as the content lives on your site first, and then you're just promoting it and linking to it and sharing it on all those other platforms, Google won't penalize you. As long as you're not copying that content and just putting it on all these different websites, it's fine. So just keep your main content on your website and then use all the other channels to link to it and to promote it and to get traffic to it. That's probably the way that I would approach that.
Okay. But do you think in general Google is helping you doing a better job, or is kind of giving you obstacles and then problems to your life?
We've got some Googlers here, haven't we?
Yeah, that's me, for example.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's one right here. No, Google are terrible. So I think they want to help, but ultimately there's only so far that they should help us because they're a business. They need to look out for themselves, the same way we do. We don't care about Google, really, so why should they care about us? So I think there's a middle ground where they are helping us. I actually think things like Webmaster Tools is fantastic. It helps us find problems. Yeah. But we can't expect them to care about us. If we're not doing the right things, then they're not going to reward us. So there's kind of a middle ground, I think, between us and Google.
But isn't it just much more, easy to buy the visibility?
Yeah, it is. And you can buy some visibility, like advertising is good. So, for example, if you promote your content on Facebook through Facebook advertising, that's great. That's a perfect way of buying that visibility. You can also do Twitter advertising, and that's great. We do that at Distilled. We do YouTube advertising as well, and it brings traffic to our clients. So that, combined with organic visibility, works really, really well.
Great. Okay. You know, a very important question raised by our superhero, super consultant. Isn't time to say SEO goodbye?
No.
No. I assume so, yeah. Let's go further.
We're all screwed. If that's true, then we should just go to the pub.
Yeah.
It's,
do you think meta keywords are still important? Isn't time to say goodbye as well, goodbye, yeah? But to meta keywords?
Yeah, I mean, we've done lots of tests at Distilled to see whether they still work, and they don't. Especially, well, on Google anyway. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about meta keywords for Google. Okay,
very important question. Doesn't the posting content through all the channels possible turn into kind of a spam for the customer? How can you avoid that impression?
So I don't think it does. You can do too much, but when you're promoting good content, I don't think it would annoy customers. I think that what can annoy customers is things like retargeting when they're advertised to too much. So if you're advertising your products too much, I can see that being annoying for customers. But ultimately, I don't think you can advertise your good content too much. I think that that's not really too much of a problem.
Yeah. Very important question as well. So what are the pros and cons of mobile only versus responsive design versus application from the SEO perspective?
Okay, so from an SEO perspective, applications don't matter too much right now, because obviously they're separate from the web. But we are starting to see Google change that a little bit. So if you've got an Android phone, you're starting to see apps appear in your Google search results. So they're starting to merge the two worlds a little bit. That's only Android, that's not iPhone at the moment. So those are starting to merge a little bit. There's lots of technology behind optimizing for that. So there's actually a Google Android API for developers where you can make it more likely that your apps will appear on someone's search results. That's too much for me to go into right now. But in terms of mobile and responsive, ultimately every website should work on a mobile. That's simple. That's the first thing we should do. And it needs to be fast. I think site speed, especially on mobile devices, is becoming more and more important.
Yeah, great. What about future of web analytics? So what do you think?
I think Avinash can talk about that later.
I think so too,
But yeah, I think that it's going to get better. I do think that Google Analytics are doing some great work at the moment, and they're getting better at putting together lots of different data sources into one place. So I think it's going to get better.
Yeah, great. Okay, so we have a half minute left. So it's too a complicated question, no. Do you believe most SEO reports getting from the Google Analytics are wrong? But is that a good product?
Yeah, I love Google Analytics. So some of the data can be a little bit bad sometimes, but usually it's because you've not set it up correctly. Or some websites have too much data that Google Analytics do sampling, so that can change how good that data is. But I love it. I think it's good. I think it's set up well. It's a good product.
It's great. We are out of time. Thank you very much, Paddy.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Paddy Moogan.